everybody out there in Facebook land, TikTok world, YouTube, everywhere there's going to be a live video broadcast of this, or even the recorded broadcast of this later on in the day. Technically, after I post it. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Monty Anderson, your host here at 412 Productions, the art of Monty Anderson. Come on a little bit later than normal. Normally, we are on at 4:12 in the morning, or try to be. Just been a lot of stuff happening around here, and as the title says, lots is happening. Lots is going on, and that is what is happening here. I'm just looking to see who all we got with us so far. Picking up people here and there, which is cool, which is fun, which is fine and dandy. That's what we want. So, welcome to the show, everybody. Again, I am Monty Anderson, your host here at 412 Productions, the art of Monty Anderson. And we talk everything from comic books to comic book artwork to my artwork to the comic books that I'm working on, things of that nature, plus the commissions that I'm working on as well. Been in contacts with the guy that I'm doing 3 different commissions for at the moment. And well, I get that, man. Blake, I hear you, brother. I've had 2 heart attacks myself. I totally understand the getting things sorted out part. And I work as well on a layaway program, if you will, that if you put a down payment down, and once you get to the halfway point of the payments, I start the artwork. So you can still hit me up. You can still send me a message, and we can talk. So Blake, just hit me up, brother. This back in 2017, had my first heart attack, and then 2019 had my second heart attack within a year of each other. The first one was the Widowmaker, so I know heart issues, brother. I am a card-carrying member. Both ventricles going into the heart does not, well, not ventricles, but both arteries going into the heart have a stent. So there you go. All right, so lots of people ask, you know, how many commissions do you do at a time, or like that. I'll keep that in mind. Thank you for understanding. No, it's not a big deal. No, I try to work with people as much as possible. I know there's a lot of hard asses out there that want their money right now, but I know people's circumstances change. You can't be like, no, you're going to pay it all now or nothing's happening, you know, because that's just cruel to people. And it's like, well, why am I going to turn down somebody's work because they can't pay it all now up front, you know? And that's just like the old layaway program that stores used to have. You could take stuff in, put it in a layaway, go in and pay X amount, it used to be per week or every other week or whatever they could do, until they changed that policy. But my policy is, you want to get a piece started, hit me up, send me $20, and we'll hold that piece for you. We'll put it off to the side. Once we get to the halfway mark, then the artwork gets started. So that's how it works. It's all good, brother. So you just let me know, and we'll talk, Jake. So a lot of people, like I was saying, ask me how many pieces do you work on at a regular on a normal interval. How many you work on at a time? Well, like right now, I'm working on 3 for one person. I'm working on 1 for another person. So that's 4 so far. I'm working on a comic book for another person. There's 5. I'm working on a, let's see, a workup for some book insert illustrations. That's 6. Let's see, what else I got going on. I've got my own comic book, which is a 4-issue miniseries, but I'm not counting that yet because all I'm doing is in the process of, writing in at the time. And then I've got another comic book in the works with another friend of mine, a movie producer friend of mine, who is we're working on a horror comic book together, And don't forget to like, share, and follow when you are here. Like, share, and follow the podcast here, or the live, or whatever you want to call it. We do talk about comic books, artwork, um, things out there in the fire, those type of good things. Excuse me. And I've got so right now I'm sitting on about 8 or 9 different projects that I'm working on currently right now. And you want to get everything done in a timely manner. You want to get everything out there quickly. But like my one client, who I'm got 2 pieces, one piece finished. I just have to start inking it and then coloring it, and then the other piece that I've started in pencil form. Um, and I'll show you those because those aren't hidden secrets or hidden gems. But this is one of the pieces that I'm working on right now for him. Multi-layer. You've got the main character in the front ground with the stepping in and a half out of the water on the land, and then the same type of creature from what this one is, but just in a different form. And then you're gonna have background scenes and stuff like that. And then you've got the other one that I'm working on, which is a split right here. That's gonna have 2 different worlds colliding. You got the Blade Runner world, and then you've got the Kingdom Hearts world. And so Deckard from Blade Runner side is fighting the Heartless from the Kingdom Hearts side, and Sora from Kingdom Hearts is fighting the Replicants from the Blade Runner side. So all kinds of stuff happening in that one. And then the next one from the same person, and this person is pretty detail oriented. He wants specific things done. So, like on the first one, I had a vision first, and that's my vision behind his main character on that first picture that I showed. And then because when we were talking, he was like, "Yeah, I'll let you have complete creative control with it all." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." So I start getting my plans. Oh, excuse me. Start getting my plans in place and start, thinking it all over, how I'm going to make this character, and that's why my character's in the background, because he contacts me, later, a few days later. He's like, "I know I told you had complete creative control on it, but this is my thoughts." And I start jotting down his thoughts, what he wants, and it's like, "Okay, dude, that's cool. No, it's not a problem. We'll incorporate your ideas first, and then I'll put mine in there in the back in the the background, so you can get an idea of what I was going to come up with it all later." So he liked my idea as well in the background. So I put it all together, and he's happy with it. And now it just has to get inked and then colored up. And it's just like I had already started on the Rift piece with the 2 worlds colliding, Kingdom Hearts and Blade Runner, a friend of his favorite movies and video game series. And once he saw my vision, because he had a vision too, he was like, "No, I'm digging this," And I'm like, "I hope so." And he was like, "Yeah, no, I like the direction that it's going." I'm like, "Cool." So we'll keep it going. So, so right now I'm sitting on about 9 different projects. So that's how many projects I have in the fire on a regular basis. Um, Sometimes. Now there's sometimes that I have nothing going on once I get some commissions finished, and so I've got time to play with other things. Um, but right now, I'm focusing on a lot of different things. Plus, I'm also still in the contemplation stage of the sponsorship that is out there on the table. Um, no contract yet, but just it's been brought up to my attention um, that it's a potential possibility. So I'm still looking at that, still daydreaming on that, if you will. And so the sponsorships can be lucrative to both parties, but again, I just got to make sure this isn't going to come back and bite me in the ass with the issues that have arisen from this creator um, in the past so far, and I'm hoping nothing comes of it. You know, as far as that goes, but we'll see because it could be a true lucrative thing that we get to see some bigger shows and we get to do some bigger, badder things, uh, and have a little bit more money in our pocket because I don't have to be. I'm not out the booth cost, of a comic book convention booth, and some of those can be anywhere between just $100, which isn't bad, up to 500 or 600 bucks. So you just have to get that money in place, is what it works into. So, but don't forget to like, share, and follow, like I said, and go from there. Now we're going to break into the section of the shirts that everybody loves. Everybody's in love with a lot of the shirts that we've got going on, especially this one right here. The Joker shirt is the popular favorite so far. This one has been ordered the most out of all the shirts so far, based off a painting that I did that's sitting over here to my right. Now, the very first Joker painting that I did, which was just last year, not the first picture I've ever done of him in ever, but I just started doing some crazy new stuff with paints and things like that, and trying some new techniques and new looks and more maniacal, if you will. This was it. This is what I first started with, and this painting sold right off the bat. And now it is in a shirt form, and you can get it for yourself. And then I was wearing this shirt yesterday, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Last Ronin. It is available right now. You can get it if you like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, based off of my artwork. This painting that I did, sitting over here to my right as well, of Chester Bennington, it's becoming a fan favorite as well, as several of these have been ordered and are being worn out there in the world. Ivan Moody of Five Finger Death Punch. My girlfriend's mother has one of these on. I don't know when she's worn it, but she's got it. This was based off of her painting because she's a huge Five Finger Death Punch fan and Ivan Moody fan, and now she can wear him wherever she wants. She doesn't have to carry the painting around. Not that she was in the first place. Then I've got this American Horror shirt based off of the 1930s painting, The American Gothic. You can go look that shirt up, or that, excuse me, that oil painting up. And I did my version of Bride of Frankenstein and Frankenstein together in the pose of the American Gothic right there. Not mine's in maroon, actually. I didn't put it on a black shirt. I put it on a maroon shirt. And then you got Howard the Duck from the 70s and 80s, based off of Jack Kirby and things like that. Not the CGI version that you see today. Not that cute little CGI guy that you see in the MCU, but the angsty, angry duck on their side. Then my girlfriend loves her Dexter shirt. Hers is in red, but you can get it in whatever color you want. If you like a blue shirt or a yellow shirt or whatever, you can put it on whatever color shirt you want. But Dexter is a very popular one as well, as many people are enjoying the new Resurrection. And then you've got Art the Clown from Terrifier right here. Get him while you can before he gets you, with his little horn. It's a fan favorite as well. The girlfriend has a red shirt. I've got a black shirt of it. And then of course you're seeing the one I'm wearing now, my Crow shirt. I've got it in yellow and in black, but you can put it on whatever color you want. I did it on a yellow background on a shirt just because the highlights in the picture that I drew originally, that has sold a long time ago, have yellow highlights in it. So there you go. You can get it in black or yellow or whatever really color you want. Any shirt comes in whatever color you want. Then Wonder Woman is becoming a fast fan favorite as well. Everybody likes the Linda Carter look of Wonder Woman, the original OG, right there, Linda Carter. And then another fan favorite that is quickly becoming ordered on a regular basis is the Bad Habits, the Naughty Nun series, right here. I wonder why it's becoming popular. But now everybody likes this one. I've got another one that I'm probably going to turn into a t-shirt form. It's got a ball gag included. So there you go. The girlfriend was like, that would make a really good shirt too. So I was like, okay, cool. We'll look at that one. But I have about 17 other shirts right now that I'm about to roll out. Um, Everything from Marvel characters to Jeepers Creepers, um, the creep from Jeepers Creepers, and things like that. So I believe I drew that Jeepers Creepers on a live show one time. So for the girlfriend, she wasn't the girlfriend then at the time, but she turned into the girlfriend a year or so after the divorce happened. So we got lots of pencils in the fire. That's why I pick up two pencils at the same time. Bum, bum, bum. No, not really. I'm not that ambidextrous. I mean, I can write and stuff with my left hand, but it looks like shit, to be honest. So, yeah, that's something that I need to work on. I see those artists that can take their pictures and draw both sides at the same time. It's just like, you guys are freaks of nature. But that's cool. And so, you know, it is, it's kind of crazy to watch them do that. How they take their pencil and just draw both sides of the stuff at the same time. And it's just like, well, that's cool. And it's all like, I mean, that's just a freak of nature right there. I mean, it's just an oddity that happens, but it's very cool oddity that happens because I would love to do that, and that's just another part of my brain that I'd have to work on and all that good stuff. But I've got enough brain cells that are left in the world, you know, and I get to use them on my art, on homesteading, which we lost a turkey yesterday for some reason. Don't know why. We get tired of losing birds. We've lost about 9 birds in this journey of homesteading to just something, you know, because he was walking around happy, healthy yesterday morning, and then we come to feed time, and he was laying in the run, all expired. His lifespan was gone, and it's just like, well, that sucks. He was doing great. So the only thing we could figure out that he wasn't getting enough yard time, you know, to get those greens that he was really needing in his life. But we're not 100% sure. That's the bad part about everything. You think you're doing everything right, you think you're doing everything good, and then this happens, and you're like, well, what the hell am I doing wrong? You know. So, but that's part of homesteading. You lose some birds here and there. You know, you lose livestock or pigs or whatever, and you move forward. You don't dwell on it. You try to improve everything that you can and as best as possible. And that's what we're doing. We're trying to improve everything, so that the quality of life is so much better for everybody. But it's just coming along slowly, and you know, you want to make everything quick and fast and all that stuff, but you can't. It's just like artwork. You can't rush it. Now I've seen people rush stuff really fast, and it looks really good. Um, but those are the people that have been doing it for 15, 20 years, on a regular, consistent basis. Me, I've been doing it for several years, and I can be fast on projects, but you know, then I scrutinize my own work, and it's just like, well, shit, not what I really wanted, but it turned out okay. Just like some ancient pieces of the past that are in my portfolios right now that are up for sale, you know, it's like everything, 90% of it looks great, and then the other 10% just looks okay, you know, and so you always want to improve. You never would just want to stay where you are. when it comes to the artwork. That's why I put more detail into certain things like these commissions that I'm working on right now as I move along and move forward with it all. Um, because you get some cool stuff going on with these little commission pieces, and it's just like, well, I can put like this, like the next one I'm gonna be working on, apart from these two 9x12s, is an 18x24 massive piece, you know, and with that one, there's going to be a whole lot of detail. There's three different characters in it that are the main characters, and then you've got all of your supporting characters that aren't supporting. They're the bad guys getting ready to fight the three guys in the middle of this picture, and it's there's going to be a lot of detail to it just because it's so big. It's an 18x24 piece, 18x24 inches. Now it's not the biggest piece I've ever worked on, which I wish I could get back on my other one, but I don't even have the room in here to even set it up right. Is my life-size Boba Fett that I'm working on. It's a 8 foot by 4 foot 8, I believe, inch stretched canvas that is sitting out in my workout room right now, and I can't even stand it up in there because none of my ceilings are 8 foot ceilings in this place. So you know, it's like, well, damn, I really wish I could get this set up and work and get it working on it, again. But again, I can't because I don't have the ceiling space to put it up to even stand it up. But yeah, a life size Boba Fett painting that I'm working on. It's been in the works for 2.5 years now, 3 years now. I started it a long time ago, and then a divorce happened, and then movement happened, and so it's just been kind of pushed from here to there to here to there, and it's just sitting back in the back right now, um, waiting to be completed, you know. But it was completely, the frame was built by me, and then hand stretched canvas was done up by me, and so it's an awesome piece. I mean, 8 foot tall, you know, by 4 foot. I believe it's 4 foot 8. I could be wrong on that. It could be. I think it's wider than that. I'd have to remeasure the whole damn thing. It's been a while since I've actually looked at it. That's how long it's been. I move it from spot to spot every now and again whenever I need to get something or get to the workout equipment or whatever, because it's sitting right in front of it. But out in the workout room, out in the shop area. So, but yeah, so no, there's that to look forward to as I, want to get uh, all of that stuff going too. So, but yeah, no, it's lots of artworks in the works at this particular juncture, and you know, it's like, and these aren't just headshots. These aren't, just little warm up sketches. These are full blown, full body um, apparitions, if you will. And a lot of people are like, "Well, yeah, I've got all this going on in the works, and all this happening," but but when you really boil down to it, it's a headshot or just a quick little sketch or something like that. But these are full blown body shots, you know, for all of intents and purposes where they are fighting. The whole fight scenes, the whole full body on from the scales up, those type things. And it's like, yeah, you can say you've got a lot in the fire, but if you're doing a headshot, is that really a lot of work going on there? And I can't knock them because a lot of these guys out there that are doing this type of stuff that say they've got a lot in the works, that are doing a lot of the headshots and stuff like that, you know, are getting a lot more business than I am, you know, and that's cool. I don't care. I would love to have the business, going that deep and in depth, you know. But it's just like, whatever. I'm getting my work here and there, you know, and I'm still pushing through. I'm selling T-shirts left and right, and so it's cool. Now, if I was, you know, making a million off of each design that I create, then I would be getting, those cease and desist letters from people. But us small independent artists don't garnish enough wages off of our artwork to get those letters from DC or Marvel or Image Comics. And the other thing on that is too, we talk to some of these people on a regular basis. I have friends on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or whatever that work in Marvel or work in DC or on the independent side or work for Image Comics. And I talk to them on a regular basis. You know, my colorist that did the Psycho Sound #3, William Russell Psycho Sound #3 variant cover that I did for him, works in the industry, and he's the one that gave me praise on my my style with my cross hatching that I do in there, because he goes, I work in the industry, and I already knew that. He was like, but I've never seen your style ever before, so that was a huge compliment right there. And so I do have a pinup for one of his books, his Nocturnals book that he's got, and it's like, he was like, I'll color this up, as long as you put that cross hatching in there. And I was like, done deal. But now I'm just waiting for their book to come out so my pinup can go in their book. I'm still waiting on that endeavor, and I'm gonna hit him up here pretty soon, because that's been a good minute since that piece was done, and you always want to see your artwork done out there in the comic book realm, the things like that. That's why I'm working on another project with Patrick Hickey Jr. and his Legacy Comics. This is the job #3 variant cover that I did for them, based off the painting that I did over here. And you know, it is. I'm happy to work with them again. And anytime he wants a book done up, or a cover, Patrick, hit me up. You know, I am not opposed. Oh, and I was talking about the projects that were in the fire. Um, the children's book that I'm working on with a friend of mine. You know, I already finished the front and back cover for his first book, and now I'm just waiting for that to drop on Amazon for him. You know, and he, uh, and hopefully we turn it into the 3 series piece that he wants. The story of his life as a boxer. You know, but told from a kid's point of view, per se, if you will. So that will be cool for him, and it'll be cool for me, because, like I said, I've already done the front and back covers to this book, and now he is in the process of getting that to the publisher. You know, because he's doing it as chapter books first, and then we're going to come back and draw up interiors and things of that nature. So I'll be working on the front and back covers. I've already done the full layout for him, uh, with color scheme and all that good stuff. So we're just waiting. I'm just waiting to see it in live action form, and be out there on Amazon for you to grab up. You know, and the links will come. Just like my new link tree. Everybody's been on Linktree for a long time, and I was just like, it's okay. And then I tried this little gadget and contraption, and it worked for a hot minute, and then all of a sudden it was just showing one aspect of my website, or Facebook only, or whatever. So it's just like, okay, we got to try something else. These little gadgetry things that they say work on a regular basis, they just stop working after a while. You know, so now I'm on Linktree with all of my different links that you can jump on. You can find that on my Facebook page right now. I don't think I've got it linked to um, TikTok yet, but I shall. I'm going to add it to my website, all that good stuff. But I don't really need to add it to my website, just because I've got everything posted out there. If you do go to my website through my page up here, which damn it, I wish they would get rid of this mirroring shit right there because I forget to switch it over, and then I get talked to by one of my loyal followers and patrons who, frequent visit here. They're like, "You're backwards, dude." It's like shit. All right, yeah, thanks, guys. But now, you know, it is one of those things that I am correct now, right here. So there you go. But no, we're having fun with life over here. We are, doing the best. We're living life one day at a time with our spooky haunted stuff, which is fastly becoming one of my um, most watched videos out there on this little creepy doll that I picked up as you hear her going off. Maybe you hear her. Who has no eyeballs in her head. Right there. And she's missing a sole of her foot right here, too. Didn't realize that at the time. But we're going to make this into a more creep factor Halloween prop type of a thing for the library with all the other creepy haunted stuff that I've got in there. Yes, we do have a haunted jester in there. Diego is his name. He was murdered at some point in time, and he, you know, is trapped inside that jester doll. I guess I don't know. We bought it on the aspect that it's haunted. It hasn't done anything since we brought it in the house. I mean, the orbs are always active in that room anyway, in the library. So, we are in the process of, finding more creepy haunted stuff. I just don't understand the people that are out there like, sorry, 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 on my video of the haunted doll or potentially haunted doll, you know, that I've brought into the house. But you always wonder the backstory whenever the eyes are missing from a doll or whatever. I mean, these old porcelain dolls are creepy enough sometimes. This one's technically not creepy, but the missing eyes give it that aspect. Excuse me, of being creepy, and that's what I like. I like the creepier the better. I might give her a Freddy Krueger glove right here. I don't know yet. I've been doing a lot of 3D printing, and Freddy Krueger's my guy. And I've got like 4 or 5 different gloves sitting over here. I think it's just 4 right here. I did have 5. My damn pup ate one of the gloves and took the blades off of it. So little jerk. So yeah, but you got to keep that stuff away from your animals. So, but I'm gonna add some creep factor to her. Going to give her a little bit of a grayish skin instead of that nice little porcelain skin. Uh, Muss up her hair, destroy her dress and outfit, and the shoes already destroyed anyway. So that's already a plus. That you can see where somebody tried to repair her before, and I think that's actually the wrong foot that that's on the sole. But yeah, no, I'm gonna creep factor her out, put some black lips on her, and maybe give her a sinister smile with an angry look on her face. I don't know. I don't know yet. I don't know. I really don't know what I want to do yet. I know it's gonna get creepier than what it is now. But the no eye aspect was the whole reason I picked it up. Technically, the girlfriend picked it up, and after I showed it to her, and you know, it's one of them things, you know, that's just like, well, we've got a haunted aspect of stuff in the library already. So what's one more thing, right? So that'll be cool. That'll be fun, especially with the spooky season coming right up. Everybody's like, oh, one more month and a wake up and we're good. But I know a lot of people are already decorating for Halloween and have been for the past couple months, you know, because it's their season, it's their time, it's their lifeline to the other side, if you will. But yeah, no. People love Halloween, just like the other side. People love Christmas. Both commercialized holidays that just makes you spend a lot of money on stuff that do you really need? I really don't need anything. You know, um, because just like many people, if you see it, you buy it sometimes. If you got the money, if you got the cash flow, you know, just like this ginormous tablet that I picked up down here, that I'm hoping works with this little adapter piece that I just picked up, because you always want your stuff to work correctly, and so hopefully it does, off of this little adapter, HDMI adapter, because a lot of people said that's how it works the best, is using the HDMI adapter for it, and instead of just the USB into your hub and all that good stuff. So hopefully with this tablet I can get it up and running and doing what I want it to do with Krita, the program Krita out there. And those of you, I don't know how many artists I've got watching me, or if any artists are watching me, period. But if you do use a tablet with Krita or some other drawing aspect of tablets and things like that, maybe you can give me some pointers and some tips, because I'm new at this. I've had a tablet for a while, just haven't plugged it in. It's a smaller tablet than this one. This one's a monster. I think it's like a 20 some odd inch, 22-inch maybe. But it's the GP, no, PD, yeah, PD 1561 by Gaomon. And again, it is a big little guy right here. Oh, look, it's going to the menu side. And I can give you with my roulette. Pop that one off. You got a shine to shine. You got a 16-inch area right here, drawing surface area, but it is a 18 by, so it's not the 22-inch. So it's an 18 by 10-inch tablet. So it's a monstrosity. But the nice thing about it is it does have a kickstand on the back, so you can do basically whatever you want to with it right there. And you know, it comes with several different attachments right here. Your HDMI and your USB right there. Let me go ahead and stick that in there and see what happens. Sorry about that, folks. Get them both going in there and see if anything happens right there. I'm just looking to see if anything is going to pop up for me over here. But so far, I got to get the whole aspect ratio and all of that good stuff going. But we'll get it there. We'll figure out what's going on with it and why she won't pull up over here right now. But that's my refrigerator you're looking at. So congratulations, you get to see my fridge. Yes, I have a hotel fridge in my office, to keep my V8 energy drinks cool and, for that natural energy. Instead of a Red Bull or a Monster or those nasty drinks like that a lot of people love. And I just don't understand it. But, it is what it is. The girlfriend loves her habit of the Monster energy drinks. Again, I've tried them. I used to drink them when I was in Afghanistan. Used to drink the BSC. The big fucking can is what it was. The 32-ounce can. And when you're on a 16-hour mission, you got to do something. You know. So there you go. Afghanistan was fun. Fucked up a lot of people while we were over there. Especially when you're over there for a year. 12 months boots on ground. Always a fun time. To be had by none. Nah, I wouldn't trade it for the world. Except for doing it younger. You know, just because, I was 33 when I joined the military. So I was already an old fart whenever I joined in 2004. Went to basic training in 2005. And then basically did my 6 years of active duty in the National Guard, even though I was only supposed to do the 1 weekend a month and 2 weekends out of the year. I was active duty pretty much the entire run of my military career. So I should have just went regular Army. But I figured at my age, the weekend warrior thing would be the best way to go. But it turned into deployment after the deployment, and then got into a regular Army gig with training troops, you know, before they were getting shipped out overseas. So, that was a pretty cool part of the career as it went down the pike. So the last 2 years, I was an active trainer, helping train troops going overseas. So there you go. But no, we had a lot of fun. Like I said, the only thing I would have done differently was I would have done it out of high school or shortly after, and probably would have retired from it had I done that. So, but I didn't. I had a family and all that good stuff, and then yes, I left the family for you know 3 months for training for basic training when I did sign in 2004. Went to basic training in 2005, and then within you know less than a year, I was in Afghanistan with a 17-month deployment. Because I had 3 months train up first, and then a year boots and ground in Afghanistan, and then when I got back, I had a 2-month school to go to, which was cool and fun. Although I was sweating to death because I went from a high altitude to Louisiana, which is below, sea level, uh, which was fun. Looked like I was just walked out of the shower every time I walked out of the barracks with the humidity and it was horrible. It was a fun time, but it was horrible. Thank you, Kathy, for the dang. LOL. Now, military life was fun. As like I said, I would have done things differently. I would have joined out of high school or again shortly after. But I was dealing with the family thereafter. Already got married and having kids and all that good stuff. But as I look back on it, as I walk through the valley of no, just kidding. Not gonna start singing for you guys either. That's not my career. I'm a voice actor and all that stuff. I should have went Air Force. No, no. The only ones that were recruiting me out of high school was the Marines, and I just flat out told them I don't want to stop tanks with my head. So I went and lived life. Well, kind of lived life because I was already tied down with being married and then having kids. Within 20 months of each other. So I did actually stay in AC when I deployed. Well, I was like I said, Army, and we were Sec 4, so we were outside the wire every day in the up armored Humvees with AC. Let's just put it this way: it was just warm air being circulated by a blower motor. So the Chow Hall at Pendleton, nice. What's up, Casey? Welcome to the broadcast, man. That's what we tease my son who joined the Army. He gonna have 5 baby mamas. Ouch. I hope not. That's a lot of checks to be dispensing around. Um, I ate half the military budget. That's hilarious. Well, I mean, our chow hall was good in Afghanistan for the most part. You know, having to pick through the hair every now and again from one of the cooks that gets into the eggs. It always happens, never fails. Um, to the grittiness of your MRE out in the field whenever you're having to take one truck to another spot, and you stop and you don't get a hot meal somewhere except for what's in your MRE, and you got the sand blowing around and shit. And so, it's yeah, my cousin, my niece, let's get or damn, my nephew is in the Air Force as well. So he's loving it. He's enjoyed it. He's got a really cool job. He's done a lot for them. You know, my favorite MRE was the pork rib with all that barbecue sauce slathered all over the place. Was Kandahar Giant real? Well, I cannot confirm nor deny that, Casey. We were all over the place in Afghanistan, from Bahrain to which is closer to Kuwait and all that stuff, because that's where we had to go for to pick up people that were coming in and things like that. So Kandahar wasn't there so much, you know. But yeah, Kitty Bird, the pork rib meal was one of the best that I had. You got to remember this is back in 2006 to 2007, and then the total stretch from 2004 to 2012, um, when MREs were great back in the day. No C rations for us, even though there was still some around. That green meat and stuff. Um, we did have some of those. Not very often. But now we went from one end of Afghanistan all the way up to the other, visiting FOBs as well, and taking the command sergeant major to visit the troops in these different FOBs spread out through Afghanistan. And some of them, I don't even see how they did it, how they were even out there and survived, because some of them had no cover really. All they had was some Constantina wire off the road on a small little stretch, you know, and it was just like, dude. But no. And if you're here, make sure you like, share, and follow. We talk about all kinds of stuff here, from comic books to military service to real life stuff. We just don't talk politics, and we don't talk religion here, because once we start talking about those two things, people start losing their damn minds on both. And so that's why we don't even entertain either one of those here. If you want to do that, start your own broadcast channel, and you can talk all that shit on a regular basis. But I'd rather talk my shit, like my shirt here. Let's see. I was enlisted with Ronald Reagan as commander in chief before all the stuff you guys endured. You up early? I'm always up early. Yes, this is my artwork for the Crow, Brandon Lee, with my homage to Mr. James O'Barr, whom I've met and I've talked to several times since we are friends on Facebook and things of that nature. You know, he's given me the thumbs up for this shirt. So there you go. And I've got a piece of his artwork sitting right over my shoulder, right there. I bought this off of eBay back in the 90s, right there. And we had a good chat right there. Yes, I drew that. Yes, if you go to my page, you can see a lot of my artwork. I have a lot of shirts up for sale and up for grabs right now, as well as artwork as well. That's not a Kiss shirt. I did see Ace Frehley just here the other day on tour with Queensryche. That was a good show. Um, Drove over to Durant and watched them perform. And I'll have to post some of the videos right here, on that. I don't, but if you want to commission one, I can do that. I can do the artwork, and then we can put it on a t-shirt. I've got a lot of artwork up for sale right now. Most of my portfolios are on sale. I've got 3 different portfolios, plus I have a not safe for work one, if you will, which doesn't see the light of day because I don't do a lot of those. I think I've got 6 pieces inside of that portfolio, but I do have 3 other portfolios. 2 of them are 11 by 15 artworks only, and then I've got one that's 9 by 12 artworks only as well. I do have a few animes in there from One Piece and Demon Slayer. So, but I don't have any Vampire Hunter D. So, but again, if you want to commission something, we can talk. I do layaway programs, just like I was telling Jake earlier on the broadcast, who's dealing with some health issues, and he's going to be hitting me up now that he knows that I do a layaway program. That artwork doesn't get started until half the project money is down, because right now I'm working on 3, 4, 5 different commissions right now. So, but no, we can always talk. Always, always, always. Working on book number 3 in the professional realm as far as a comic book goes, under the same moniker, Legacy Comics, that I did this one for. The job number 3 cover right here. This is my painted cover for the job number 3. You think Point Break meets wrestling? Point Break meets WWE or WWF or ECW? You know, I want a 3D of me. Well, I'm working on doing that type of stuff, Casey. Um, because I want I want to bring my own characters to life in the 3D realm as action figures. So I am in the process of learning how to create my own STL files. You know. Well, Kathy, hit me up. Send me a message, and we'll talk. You know, or I can send you one here in a little bit once the live ends in probably about 15, 20, 30 minutes or so, depending on how long I go. But yeah, Casey, that's what I'm trying to work on right now. Is that I am in the process. And Kathy, thank you. You have a good day, and don't forget to like, share, and follow, which you've already done. I think. I'm pretty sure you already did. But yeah, Casey, that's my next endeavor is to start making my own characters based off of my comic book pieces, my characters from my comic book, and that way I'm going to have not only the comic book, the T-shirts, but action figure lines, uh, Funko Pop type style, um, uh, bust like of the Batman Who Laughs, but my own, not just the Batman Who Laughs, but my own works and things like that. So, and someone's saying some derogatory stuff out there because TikTok has filtered your comments. Whoever is saying something negative or outlandish out there, you've been blocked. Just, well, not by me, but TikTok blocked your comment. So now, if you are going to say some outlandish shit on here, like some people have in the past, you will get blocked and booted. So just know that. I am not opposed to it. Just like other creators are not opposed to it. And just like a creator I saw that says if you are not, you know, out here supporting, then you're getting the boot, you know. And everybody that's been on here so far has had supportive things to say. Casey's a good one out there. Roy, who is in bed right now, is sleeping um, because it is game day for us Dallas Cowboy fans. We faced the Falcons in preseason, which preseason is just here to show us who we're keeping, who we're cutting, kicking to the curb, and then who we're re-signing to the practice squad from either our own in-house signings or from other teams as they start cutting players left and right. So there you go. Yeah, somebody got filtered out there. Somebody said something derogatory. Apparently, some comments in this live were filtered uh, to protect the community's experience. So generally, when that happens, somebody says something derogatory or negative in their comment, and so the whole comment gets basically blocked. And I don't block it, but TikTok does because that's what TikTok does. Even though everybody's got can say what they want, just like that one idiot that was bouncing on here with 3 different accounts that got blocked every showing up on the show, you know, and especially after I blocked his first account, and then he came back in the second account, blocked that one. He came back in as a third account, blocked that one. And I think he came back in as a fourth account, but just sat there and didn't say anything. So, you know, and I appreciate the likes. I do appreciate the likes, shares, and follows because that does help us out. Even though we don't get a whole lot of live views, this gets viewed a lot throughout the week. You know, the live shows before they disappear. Just like on Facebook now, your shows, your live videos or videos in general only last for so long now. So um, these don't last for forever, you know. But I can last them for forever because I record my podcast or my show. I can't really call it a podcast because I don't technically have guests on here, and I don't do this and I don't do that, and I'm not a Joe Rogan or anything like that, and I don't want to be. I want to be Monty Anderson, the artist. 412 Productions is me, you know. And yes, I've stopped putting my logo in the background and all that stuff because I want to do some cooler stuff. You know, I want to finish my ceiling out with a mural that I've painted. If this ceiling is what's going to stay, I don't know yet. Because once I get some things taken care of on some financial stuff, then I'm going to start pouring a lot of money into this place. Which means this entire room could disappear for another room. A Connex trailer style. A metal building with wooden floors and all that stuff. And then do the inside with the whole drywall and shit like that. Oh, thank you, TikTok. I was wondering when my puzzle piece would show up so I could continue my day. Oh, thank you, TikTok. I know a lot of people don't talk about that little puzzle piece that slides across during your live show, but it's annoying. It just gets in the way. So, um, but yeah, there's a lot of I almost just want to bulldoze my house down and just put connexes here and make a connex house. You know, a metal structure that's not going to get you know blown over with a tornado or something crazy like that. But that's just me. That's just things in the plans in the works, and it's just like, well, maybe it'll happen if I want to, because I mean I've got the room. You know, I can't type and run likes on Clicker. I get it. You're fine, dude. You don't have to keep going. You've already got us up to. Oh, they've changed it up already. Yeah, yeah. We're up to 7.4, which is cool. That gets us up in the top because I mean we're in the 99 percentile of small creators like myself um, when it comes to the likes and the shares and the comments and things like that. So we're good. Yeah, we're not up to the 30 or 40,000 likes that we usually get, but and that's fine. Between you and Roy, whenever you get here, groovy baby, you got to do it like Ash. Come on. Whenever you and Roy are here battling it out for the likes, getting thumb cramps, those type things. It I mean it truly helps. You guys keep the show alive, if you will. All right, all right, all right. Going for some Magic Mac right there. Next on the stage is Casey dancing for you. Get ready, ladies, for Casey, the dancing fool. Nah, Matthew McConaughey's a pretty cool guy. Haven't met him, haven't chatted with him, but just from what I understand, he's a pretty straightforward guy. And some of the roles he says he wish he hadn't taken was one of them. I think I have the clicker machine, so it is no effort. Well, good. Yeah, I remember you telling me about that, and how you used to have it set for you know continuous or whatever it was on there. So, but I want to contribute. Well, don't volunteer for tribute. No, no, you do. You do, 100%, Casey. Every time you're here, you contribute. Even if you're not here and you like a video or repost a video or whatever, you're doing your part. You know, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. Supporting artists can be a free endeavor. Anytime you post their artwork that they post and you repost their artwork, or you repost one of their live shows, or you repost one of their little clippets from their show, or you like, share, comment. All those are supporting uh, aspects to help us get seen by millions, potential millions of other people out there in the world. And that's what us artists really want is to, and I appreciate that, um, that I'm your favorite artist on here. You just haven't met very many artists. No, just kidding. No, I try to be as down to earth as possible because I know what it's like to be in the trenches, if you will. Well, yes, no, I totally understand that. It's just like me with certain creators on here. I go to their shows and watch their stuff, and I repost their stuff and support them. In that aspect, we can do that. You know, Casey, we can do an autograph session just for you, buddy. Um, and my autographs are free of charge. When it comes to, and that's another thing that I don't get with artists is that you've got your print, you just sold your print to somebody, or say, let's take this right here. This cost me nothing to get. Okay, all it cost me was time to paint the piece, to get it digitized and all that good stuff. So this piece actually cost me zero money right here because I didn't print this book. Patrick Hickey and Legacy Comics printed this book and sent them to me free of charge for my time of painting the cover for the job number 3. When I autograph this, I sell this book for $5. Okay, that means there's no extra charge for my autograph. There's no extra charge for my sticker that I'll put on here because I do have these cool foil stickers that I'm going to start putting on pretty much every piece. And then I can't put a one-to-one sticker on here just because this isn't a one of one. I've got 10 of these books right here in my hand, you know. And now on my original pieces, I can stick the sticker that says one of one because that is the original. And even if I painted something that looked just like it, there would still be nuanced differences that it would still be a one to one no matter how many times I painted that same piece. If I painted 10 of the exact same piece, there would be enough difference in each of the pieces that they would all still be one of one, if that makes any sense. You know, it's just like this Art the Clown piece, which I've done 2 of right here on an actual saw blade. It is different than the one my girlfriend has. It looks identical to it. This is completely different than the one that she's got. In fact, the black is on the opposite side. Her black is over here on the white, and her white is black. But it still has the art of art hand done. But yes, I did hand do this. I didn't paint it with a paintbrush. I hand did the lettering with it. I put it on my finger and did it like he would if he dipped his finger in blood and all that good stuff. And then this, the blood splatter on his face, the rest of it could look very similar, but it's still going to be different. The drawing itself, the blood splatter on here is different than the one on hers. You know, so even though this is a practically duplicate of the other one that I already did, it's completely different as well. Just because you're never going to get the exact same stroke, the exact same whatever. You could draw the same piece 100 times, and you're going to see differences in each piece. You know, so that's the beauty of doing multiple artworks, and that's one aspect that I hated with working on the Fallout cards that I did for the game, the video game series Fallout, and um, they wanted 3 designs on, you know 30 cards. So 10 of each card right here. 3 designs or 4 designs or whatever it was, instead of us letting us use the entire universe of Transformer catalog. They're like, well, that's just what the producer wants and all that stuff. It's just like, no, that's what you want. I can guarantee it. Because if you talk to, you know, the Transformer people, they're going to be like, no, let them draw whatever they want. As far as long as it's in the realm of the Transformer universe. You know, and the fun one, the one I had the most fun with was Full Moon Features Puppet Master. Right there. I've been watching on Prime, um, the 13 Nights of Elvira or whatever it's called, and she throws in her, it's like Mystery Science Theater 3000, if you will. I don't know if many of you know what that is, but you have her heckling the show, basically. I mean, she's a comedic piece in and of herself, but she's a lot of men's heartthrobs out there. I have her autograph over here on my wall right now. In her little tassel outfit, if you've seen Mistress of the Dark, you know what I'm talking about. Her, even though it wasn't her in it, they put her face, sublimated her face, but and no, it was her, in certain aspects of things, and you can see where they sublimated her face onto another actress's body, for certain shots in that. But no, she's always been one of my favorites, out there in the world as far as comedic female talent goes. And it's not just because of her cleavage. Get real, people. Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. No, she was always pretty cool. I really want to meet her in person. I have yet to meet her in person because she's always at the bigger shows. She's at none of the shows that I've been to so far. I was kind of hoping she would have been in the San Antonio one last year, but alas, she was not. Because I definitely would have got her autograph in person, and I would have broke the rules. And well, no, I wouldn't have. I would have just got a meet and greet with her, to get the photograph and the autograph and all that good stuff. You know, Smokey G, who did who tell what to? I'm a little confused. Did you say anything else up here? But no, Elvira is one that I want to seriously meet in person before she parts this mortal coil. You know, I love it. That's a statement that breaks people's minds. There's a lot of statements that break people's minds out there on the internet. But welcome to the show, Smokey. Is that because you like to barbecue? Or is that because you like to pop smoke? Your choice. Being military, popping smoke is a whole different category. And I do like to barbecue. You know, I've got a little not. It's not really a smoker. It's just a grill out there, but I can turn it into a smoker easy with my chips and all that good stuff, and my smoke box that's in there. Up to 12.3, Casey. Thank you very much. Out there, sir. You are awesome as usual, and that's how you support. You know, and we will hit me up in Messenger, and we'll talk about that autograph. Like I said, and we'll go from there because I'm not in it to kill people's um, morale when it comes to artists, because that's what I was saying earlier was that I've seen artists charge for their autograph on something that you just bought. You're okay. This piece was $20 for the 11 by 17 print, or 25 or 30 or whatever they're charging, and now you're tacking on an autograph fee. You're tacking on a certificate of authenticity fee. Um, So now you're up to $50 already. Off of a $25 or $20 piece. You know, I don't do that to people. I don't even charge for my little foil sticker that I've got right here. Let me pull that out because these are cool. I love these little things right here. Dun, dun, dun. Boom, boom, boom. Right there. Foil stickers that go on all my artwork from now on. All of my prints will have those on it whenever they go out the door. And then I'm thinking about putting them on the comic book and things of that nature as well. Um, I'm just undecided on that because technically the comic book isn't mine, even though the artwork is mine. The So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that yet. So it's just like autographing the shirts. I have to figure out the best way to autograph the shirt because I sent out 3 autographs on a crow or not the crow on the Joker shirt on this shirt. Whenever Mr. Kirk Holt bought his, he wanted them autographed, so I went ahead and autographed all 3 of his shirts. You know, and on that shirt, and so that was the first for me, and autographing my shirts. So that was kind of fun. But I know it'll wash off over time. If they wash it on a regular basis, the autograph's gonna disappear. It's just like I've got a baseball or a ball cap in there. It's got a ton of golfer signatures on it, but you can't read a single one of them anymore. Um, Hell, I got that thing back in 96, 97, 98, somewhere in that range, and it's got some golfers and some football players on it, but you can't tell because they've started to fade um, into the fabric over time. So, you know, and it hasn't been washed. It's just been sitting there and hanging up or in a box or, this, that, or the other. But over time, I couldn't tell you who signed it. Um, I'm pretty sure John Elway was one of them, on the ball cap. But, and again, it hasn't been washed. It's just time. Just like I've got a Dallas Cowboys signed football helmet from 96, I think. 95, 96, somewhere in that range. Over time, all those autographs are going to start to fade, on that, unless I keep it in a completely dark room, uh, which my room in there isn't dark, that I keep in my Dallas room. And the pigs are awake. Yes, there's pigs in the house, folks. There's pigs in the house. And I hear them screaming right now. Everybody's screaming. Both of them. Which is always a fun endeavor. All right, guys. I'm going to go take care of these guys. I do appreciate each and everybody being here, taking their time in their day to be with us here live, sharing, liking, and, commenting and being a part of the show. Because you guys are what makes it great. The comments that come in on a regular basis make the show. And you guys have a great day. And as I like to say as I leave you, we will catch you on the flip side. Have a good day, everybody.